obtained his doctoral degree in chemistry from the University of Madras, Chennai. He was a postdoctoral fellow at Baylor University, Texas, USA during 1994 to 97 and senior research associate at IIT, that is Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, Chennai during 1997 to 98. Scientist in CSIR, National Metallurgical Laboratory, Chennai. Visiting scientist under the Brain Pool program at Yonsei University, Seoul, Korea. Research professor at the Department of Dental Biomaterials, School of Dentistry, Chonbuk National University, Jeonju, Republic of Korea. And he is a research professor at the Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology, Ulsan, Republic of Korea. He has published more than 200 papers and 15 book chapters. He is the principal editor of the 2-volume series on surface modification of magnesium for biomedical application, published by Elsevier Science. He is a co-editor of the book on conversion coatings for magnesium and its alloy, published by Springer. He has 2 patents to his credit. He is a mentor, motivating young researchers to achieve their goals in what he considers as his greatest asset. His papers have been cited more than 8,764 times with a H index of 50 and I index of 108. Besides his research and development work, he is also a freelance science writer and an educational consultant. We welcome you, sir. Now the platform is open to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam, for the nice introduction. Participants, hope you had a very nice lunch. So it's my biggest challenge to see to that you are not sleeping. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about reading. Okay, this is Madam Dr. Umarani was telling that this is the first induction program conducted by Anna University. So in those days when I was a research scholar, there was no such awareness program, because you people are, I should say, you people are really gifted to have such programs, because you are going to interact with eminent scientists and faculties to get an idea about the research and what are the important key functions that we need to know about in doing a research program. So today I'm going to talk about one important aspect, that is reading, because I strongly believe that reading is the basic for writing, because as a researcher, particularly as a research scholar, you need to publish, you need to do your research work. Not only doing the research work, you need to write and communicate, because dissemination of knowledge is the important aspect of publishing, and you need to publish a lot of papers. And for that, the basic requirement is reading. So before starting into the program, I would like to ask one question. What is the thing that you read today? From today morning, you might have read something, at least the WhatsApp messages, some WhatsApp messages. So have you read any column, article, or something like that? Are you habituated? How many of you are reading newspapers or scientific columns or any sports column? They might have written about an IPL match, so whom has played well. So you read something, at least to read something and start to write something about it. So that is the basic, it is required. Okay, so that's what we are going to start today. So before that, I would like to put a small statutory warning that you can check your WhatsApp and Facebook status, but that could affect your learning process. Okay. So I said reading, it is the key to learning. Okay. Not only that, it is also the key for writing. Because if you want to emerge as a good writer, scientific writer, definitely you need to read a lot. So, on your mark, get set and read from today onwards. So, this you make it as a habit. I'm requesting all people that reading is a must, that you have to make a habit of it, reading it. There is a scientific article published in Science magazine on how to read a scientific paper seriously. Okay, you can download it from Science magazine website. It is published in the year 2016, March 2016, by Elizabeth Payne. So you can download and read the paper. They have given some keys how to read a scientific paper. Because we might say that, we have learned reading a lot for so many years. So we know how to read. That is not like that. It is, there is a way to read a scientific article which has to give an importance like that. So it is better to read this, read a scientific paper. Okay. Generally, how they read a paper, if you look at people, how their people are reading, first they read the abstract. That is why many of the publishers, they are giving abstract as free of cost. So you can read, you can access the article website and then you can read the abstracts. So abstract, they read. The second thing, they skim through the introduction. What is the work that they have done? And have a quick look at the hypothesis to be tested or verified. What is the hypothesis that the researchers are proposed or they have verified or intend to verify that? Then they go through the illustrations, schematics, tables. These are the most important aspects of a research paper, of a scientific manuscript. So you go through that illustrations and schematics. And you look at the methodology. If the methodology is different from what you are practicing, say for example, you are preparing some chemicals, say for example, hydroxyapatite by precipitation method. They might have done the same hydroxyapatite synthesis by a hydrothermal method. So what is the difference? Why they have adopted a different methodology than what we are practicing, or what is the conventional method of so why they have adopted a different practice? So that is the thing that we will be interested in. And looking at the conclusions and summary, whether the specific questions that they intend to raise, that is whether they are answered or not. And then finally look at the technical details and some relevant points in the paper that could change our thinking process about the research topic, or you may draw some new ideas and directions from the work. So this is the way that people are reading a manuscript. Okay. This is the approach made by one student, Ms. Lina Colucci. She's a doctoral candidate she was a doctoral candidate at Harvard MIT Health Science Technical Program. So she has given an interview about how she has approached the problem of reading. What she's saying is she reads the paper and highlights some of the important points, and she will save some informative sentences from each article about a specific topic in a Word document. So what she's telling is, when you read a paper, you highlight some important points and then copy down the point and then copy and paste in a Word document and keep it separately. Because not only that, she will also write comments along the way about the new idea that she's getting or the questions which she need to explore further. When you're reading a statement, when you're reading a sentence, you consider it as a statement and you try to raise a question for the statement, or try to develop some new ideas based on the statement. I will explain it in detail later. So subsequently, she will need to read only the Word document. She need not go through the article. Because when you have to read research articles, you may have to read at least more than 50 to 100 research articles. It is very difficult to remember all the points at all the time. So this practice will help you to remember most of the points if you copy it down into the Word document and keep it separately as a thing. So in fact, when I was a research scholar, I also followed the similar methodology of reading the paper and copying down and the important points in a Word document, and I also used the same practice. So it's a successful practice that you could able to, you can also follow. When talking about reading, there are two kinds. One is passive reading, other is active reading. What is passive reading? Passive reading is just take a glance, okay? Looking at the newspaper, looking at the headlines of the newspaper. Now you might have seen Janatandi. Okay, what is the thing they have seen? Okay, taking a glance. It's a light reading. It's a monologue. Okay, you might have heard about this advertisement. A few years back, it was very famous when I was young. So Hero Honda advertisement. So this bike used to give a lot of fuel efficiency. So they used to say that fill it, shut it, and forget it. That much mileage it will give. So passive reading is like that. You just read it and close the book and then forget about it. So that is the way about passive reading. What is active reading? Active reading is intensive reading. Okay, you have to take notes. You have to summarize what you have learned during the process. You have to involve in a dialogue. You have to engage yourself with the paper. It's a kind of meditation. You need a focus in reading the paper. You have to make inferences. You have to make predictions. Okay, suppose they have done this experiment at this particular temperature. Okay, suppose if you do the same experiment at a relatively higher temperature, can you able to increase the efficiency of the process? Can you able to increase the yield of the process? So that is the way that you could be able to make predictions. You could be able to draw conclusions from that. Okay, this is what they have done. So if I make some other different strategy, if I follow a different strategy, whether I could be able to achieve certain much better efficiency of the process or improve the performance of the material. So you could be able to draw conclusions at that. You can make presumptions on what could happen. Okay, suppose if you do it, the reactions at a cryogenic temperature, what will happen? Whether deformation will happen or not. So those sort of things. And you should be in a position to answer the questions. You should be in a position to explain to yourself or to your colleagues or friends, etc. And you have to involve in the question of analyzing the data. You have to correlate the data made by different people. You have to corroborate the data with your current understanding. So all these things are part of active reading. So it is not simply a question of reading and means just take a paper and then just read. It's that it involves so many aspects of it. You need to involve in intensive reading. You should be able to make assumptions. You could be able to make explain the concepts of the paper. So all those things are part of the active reading. And necessarily, a researcher should involve in active reading. Then only you can be a researcher, good researcher. They can emerge as a good researcher. Okay. Actually, a close reader, it works like a detective. How a detective is finding is solving a case, how he is identifying who is the culprit. So like that, a reader, you should be a close reader and you should work like a detective. And you should do careful and purposeful reading and focusing on what is the purpose of the paper, what is the structure of the paper, what are the claims made by the author, and whether there is a continuity in the paper. Okay, and the flow, what is the flow? Okay, particularly flow. And you have to read, and if you do not understand it the first time, read and again and again. So that is what important. And you have to use text evidences to support your thinking. So all these things are part of the reading process. It is not simply, as I said, it is not just taking the paper and just reading it and putting it back. So you have to involve in so many aspects of that. So why I am giving so much of importance for reading? I saw a recent news in Twitter or LinkedIn, I think, I remember that. So what happens is, this candidate has applied for a PhD program in Uppsala University in Sweden. And the university has replied back to him that you have applied for a PhD position at Uppsala University, but you are supposed to take some tests. And one of the important tests that they given is that a test on scientific reading and writing. Okay. And that will be given for 4 hours for each part. So a researcher, before joining a PhD program, a candidate before joining for a PhD program, he is supposed to take a test on scientific reading and writing. Because the universities has insisted that it is an important aspect of a research program. So that is why now I'm very happy that the Center for Research at Anna University have started an induction program for research scholars. Because it is the starting point. Before starting your research itself, we need to know how we have to choose that problem, what we need to read specifically, and how we need to write it in a better way. So those things are very, very important. Those skills are very, very important. So that is why I'm telling a lot about reading. Reading, research, and writing is a continuum. Okay, and that's what Professor Valerie Madras says. She is offering a course. She has designed a course on effective biomedical reading and writing. She is a biomedical engineering professor. She used to teach biomedical engineering, but she has designed a course on biomedical reading and writing, particularly because people know that the importance of reading and writing for research communications. So because teaching strategic critical reading to graduate students benefits both their research and their writing. So she feels that is very, very important, and and scientific reading and writing are inseparable and form a continuum with research. So reading is as important as so you don't think that I have joined as a research scholar, I need to work in the lab all the time and to generate the data. Okay, you need to generate some data, but definitely you have to spare at least more than 50% of your time to reading. At least you should make a point that I have to read at least one research article per day. That is good enough, because if you read one article per day, even if you leave 65 days for some of the thing, and you can read at least 300 articles per year. So that is good enough. I feel that 300 articles reading in a year is good enough. Okay. So the importance of reading and writing is part of research. Okay, it is not separate. It's not a separate thing. It's a part of research. You know this correlation, right? Right. So what is this correlation? Again. Yeah, so that's the thing. So the moment you write an article and it will be sent for to an expert for review. So what the reviewer is looking, he is looking at the flaws in your paper. And there is some problem in this paper. This concept is not explained properly. You are not given the proper explanations, or you are not supported, you are not validated your results, all those things. Okay. So if you read a paper, okay, if you read a paper, have a habit of reading a paper every day, you will know what are the things that you need to make sure, what are the make sure you should not make any mistakes, something like that. So that's what I'm trying to find a point here. Literature collection, there is going to be a separate talk on these things, but I will like put some points on that actually. See, the art of collecting literature is a very big job. Nowadays it is becoming very easy because you have internet access, and universities are subscribed for journal publishers website, so you can download a lot of papers in no time. But the problem is that there is plenty of papers available in a particular area. Say for example, if you put graphene, okay, there will be at least 300 articles per year. And if you collect for a period of about 10 years, you will be ending up with more than 1,000 papers. Okay, it is not possible for us to read all the papers. Okay, so collecting the literature is like a honeybee's job. In a flower garden, the honeybee knows which flower to go for and take the honey. So like that, a research scholar should be very choosy. In the morning, Professor Velraj also said that. We cannot read all the papers, it is not possible, humanly it is not possible. So you have to selectively choose. As he already pointed out in the morning that you have to identify the key researchers in a particular area. If you are working on a biomedical engineering or biomedical science, say for example implant applications, like Dr. Rajendran was doing that. So implant application means who are all working in that implant applications area, implant development, implant material development. So you have to look and identify. Okay, and you have to read those papers. Then you will get a better idea and better knowledge. So like that, a researcher has to be like a honeybee, and you have to be very choosy in collecting the right literature. Okay, highlighting and taking notes. We all know these things. No, it is not new, because even in a school book we used to highlight some of the important points. That is, we used to use a color pencil to when you are writing the exams, you read a color pencil, sketch pens, all these things we have been practicing it. So there is nothing new here. Okay. So the purpose of highlighting a research article is to sort the points that are important and most relevant for your writing, because you are going to write a manuscript, okay, after reading the thing. So you have to collect and sort out the points, important points, while reading the thing. Okay. When you are highlighting, you take a note at the margin and write your opinions, remarks and questions for the statement. I already said that when you are reading a sentence, you assume that it is a statement. You assume that it is an answer. All you have to do is to write a question for the answer. That you put it in the margin, in the highlighter section, in the point. Okay, and if you use the Acrobat, okay, Acrobat reader, you can be able to highlight it, and then you can select the comment point, and then you can type it. I will show that. Okay, because asking the correct and sensible question is the best way to learn. Morning, Professor Velraj also said that you need to ask the right question. If you don't ask the right question, you will not get the right answer. You will not get the answer. Okay. Asking the correct and sensible questions. Okay. And correlate a statement that is relevant to your work, or what you want to emphasize or discuss in your point. What the other researchers have done, you should be able to correlate. Different people might have done different aspects of it. So you should be able to correlate why that is happening, why a phenomenon is happening. Because these points are the building blocks of your paper. You have to collect all those points, and you are going to use these points as a building block when you are writing your paper. Okay. So this is a paragraph in which I have highlighted. I have also put comments on the sides. Okay. So this article is about additive manufacturing. In mechanical engineering it will come. Selective laser melting is an additive manufacturing techniques. Particularly I have written this process has been inhibited by the requirement of post-processes due to 3 primary challenges. So I have pointed out the limitation of this method, limitation of this process. The requirement of post-processing is one of the limitations. So main challenges is the change in microstructure, for the undesired porosity and residual stress. which are present in the as-built component. So these are the material, this is the problem and these are the challenges. So what we need, this is the requirement, maximizing the part density. We have to increase the part density, and the primary goal to avoid the pores, and we have to accomplish, if you want to increase the part density, you have to increase the laser power. But if you increase the laser power, then that will be rapid cooling rate. So that will be lead to microstructural changes and build-up of residual stress. So these are the problems and challenges. And we need to control the cooling rate to tailor the microstructure and avoid the build-up of residual stress. So this is a strategy and approach. So these are the points that I will explain to one by one. So this is the first point. I said that this process is inhibited by the requirement of post processes due to three primary challenges: the change in microstructure, undecided porosity, and residual stress. So you have to write the point as what is limiting the wide acceptability of this process. So this is a question. Okay, like that you can read. You read a statement and write a question for the statement. Read a statement and consider this as an answer, and you write a question for that. What is limiting the wide acceptability of this process? So that is the thing. The next is, again, what is the origin of the problem? Okay, to accomplish it, high energy input is required, but high energy input leads to high cooling rate. That high cooling rate leads to change in microstructure as well as build up of residual stress. So that is the problem. So you have to identify the problem statement. A research paper should have a problem statement. So what is the origin of the problem? So they say what is the field about it, and what is the challenge, and what is the problem in that. And again, what is the strategy? What is the strategy and approach? The strategy and approach is to control the cooling rate so that you can avoid the change in the microstructure. You can avoid the buildup of residual stress. So that is the strategy and approach. So what is the strategy and approach made by the researchers? Okay. And what is the available window of opportunity to further to make a progress in this research area? Okay. So these are the comments. This is a way that you have to write comments along the sides of the paper, along the side of the margin when you are reading a paper. That is and you copy down all the point and then along with the comments in a Word document. You read it collectively. Then you will have a lot of ideas, a lot of things, a lot of points you will be having in your mind. Okay. Not only that, so now you copy down all the points in Word document. Then you classify, okay, which point to write in the justification section, which point to write in the introduction section, which point to write in the origin of the problem. So several sections, say for example characterization. Somebody might have done a characterization about X-ray diffraction. Somebody might have done some of the points about bioactivity studies, some cell growth studies. All those points separately, everything separate in separate Word document. You classify in separate Word document. Because when you are reading a paper, you will remember all the points. The next day, you will remember only 50% of the points. 1 week, if it's gone, then you will forget everything. Okay. So it is difficult to recollect all the points at the same time when you are writing. So that is why I am saying is you collect all those points and copy down in the Word document, then classify it separately. Which section you are going to write, introduction section, experimental section, or research and discussion. You classify all those things. And when you are writing, you read only particular section. Say for example, when you are going to write about X-ray diffraction characterization, read only the points that pertains to XRD only. Then you can be able to remember all the points with respect to it. Okay. And classify and read each set separately. Okay, one file for XRD, one file for other characterization, one file for the discussion section, all those things. Read separately when you are going to write that particular part. And populate the mind. So because it is important that you should remember all the points in the mind. It is very difficult to recollect all the points for anybody. So what I'm saying is if you are going to write about the bioactivity part of a particular material, say for example hydroxyapatite, you are going to write about the bioactivity of hydroxyapatite. So you collect all the points from published papers about the bioactivity of hydroxyapatite and compile it in a separate document. And read that document alone when you are going to write bioactivity. So now you have populated your mind only with the points on bioactivity. You remember who said what, who has reported what is your result. You try to correlate with those results and try to write that particular paragraph or particular aspect alone. Then you will be able to write it in a better way. Otherwise, it is very difficult to recall all the points from all the papers. It is difficult to write. Okay. Okay. It is not only populating the mind. You allow it to stay in their mind for some time. Let it you have, what you say that, during the chicken making, you said marination. So like that, let it marinate in your mind, and then you can able to do something like that. Okay, so these are the strategies that we have to follow in reading, in writing a manuscript, all those things. So now you have read all the points you collected, and you populated your mind, and you started writing. And whatever you want to say that it is in your mind, all you have to do is to transfer from the brain to the computer, to your laptop. It's okay. But what happens is, the moment you start writing, it's not working. It is taking more than 2 to 3 hours to write even 2 to 3 sentences. We all experienced. Okay. Why we are having the difficulty? That is a problem. That is a problem. We have read the points. We read all the points. We have done all our homework properly. But still, we could be able to feel this crunch. There is a drought in words. You feel that you have to write, but it is not coming to. It is not coming. So that is a problem. It is really a frustrating experience. Okay. Everybody will get frustrated. So, no, what is this? I have done so much of work, but I could not be able to write anything. What to do? Whenever we are in trouble, we used to go to the astrologer. So even if you go to an astrologer, and the astrologer will say that, I can't use my crystal ball to predict when you can write better. So this is not this is not their cup of tea. So it is totally in your hand, how to write it better. So what to do? It's a question of breaking the mental barrier. It's nothing else. So how we are going to do? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes a man perfect. With practice, you will start feeling comfortable with writing, and we will come out with better ways to express your ideas and concepts. So that's why I'm telling, you have to read every day, and you have to write every day. Write something, whatever you feel. Now you can write about a cricket match. You can write about some political debate. You can write about the oil price, rise in oil prices. Whatever you feel, whatever you may be discussing, you may be already discussing with your friends the problems. Okay, today bus is not running. There is a strike going on. Whether the strike is justifiable or not, you may have your own opinion. But instead of speaking to your friends, what I'm saying is, you write it down. You write it down, 1 page. Okay. Nowadays, everybody is having block pages. Okay, you can have your own block page. Every day you can write something about it. And you ask your friends to read your blog. Ask them to give opinions, to improvisation. You can discuss with English department professors you can ask them to improvise your way of expressing, your way of writing, everything. Automatically, with the time, you can able to improvise. So this will come only with practice. Many researchers, the main thing they are doing is, they are very good at research. They are doing their work in an exceptional way. They are generating the data. And one fine day, they want to write a manuscript. They are sitting and start writing, nothing is coming out. That is the problem with most of the researchers. So reading and writing should be a part of their program right from day one. Every day you have to practice reading and writing. Then only when you reach a stage when you want to write a paper or when you want to write a thesis, it will become easy. Otherwise, it will become a difficult, very difficult task. Okay. There will be initial resistance. It is not unusual because we are not practiced that way. So, but we have to keep writing. We will soon realize that the magic of words coming freely to you. Okay. It's only a question of practice. Because reading makes yourself resourceful. Okay, reading. Okay. We have to assimilate and enrich your knowledge. By reading, we can able to assimilate and enrich our knowledge. Okay. And the more you read, the more comfortable you become with the writing. We have to read, you have to read. Then it becomes just a piece of cake, writing. And not only that, you have to, when you are reading a paper, you prepare a 1-page summary. What the authors have done, or what the researchers have done in the paper. Prepare a 1-page summary, post it in your blog page, and encourage your friends to read. And you share with your colleagues and peers, and get the feedback, and then improve. So that is the only way that we can continuously make an improvement in writing. Okay, that is the strategy that we have to adopt. And there is no other shortcuts. Because famous writers, what they say is, writing comes from reading, and reading is the finest teacher of how to write. So, And again, the famous Nobel laureates, they say, I always repeat, read, read, and read. So, the words should literally hug you. The more you read, it will automatically come to you. The moment you put your hands on the keyboard, the words will come. So that much flow you should occur. That will come only with the practice of reading and writing every day. It should become a everyday practice. It is not only that reading and collecting the points. We have to train our mind to assimilate the points and arrange them in an order. Because when you have to write, there should be a coherent. It is like a story. There should be one end and one beginning and one end. Okay, so you should be able to present it in a coherent way. Okay, so this is the idea. Now you have collected so much of points. Everything is, and you have populated your mind. Everything is in your mind. But you cannot put it randomly. You have to arrange it in a particular order. So that way, that phase you have to transform. That needs time. Okay, you may have some points. You may write one point, again another point. There won't be any correlation. There won't be any link between the first sentence and second sentence. There won't be any link between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. That should not be like that. Okay, there should be a continuous link. It should be like a flower garland. Okay, how they are making it. So that's a way that we should be able to improvise. That comes only with the time, only with the practice. Only with the practice we can able to achieve. So assimilate the points from various resources. Connect the points to form a circuit. Jot down and then you can write. So that is the idea. So we have to work together. We have to work a lot. Collecting data, is like Lego pieces. Okay, we have to sort it out, we have to arrange it, we have to present it visually, and we have to explain it with a story. So this is the basic network of how to write anything. So when you are writing the first draft, people are always thinking that when writing the first sentence itself, you are looking for perfection. Don't look for that. So whenever writing the first draft, you will have a random thought, let it flow, you keep writing. All you have to do is to write first. It need not be perfect. Don't look for perfection when you are writing the first drafts. Okay, all you have to do is just write. And there are no limits for the number of pages. You can even write for 100 pages. No limits. You keep writing. That is more important. Whatever coming to your mind, whatever point comes to your mind, you write. You keep writing. Then we can edit it. Then we can refine it. So that's the way we have to write. So if you wait for inspiration, then you are not a writer. You will be a writer. Okay. And always choose a quiet environment to read and write. Because that gives, the libraries and cubicles are made for that, to focus. And there should not be any disturbances. And preferably, if you are a music lover, then you can listen to some music to play around, because a calm mind could think better. So now again, comes to the point that you have done all your homework, you could be able to write it, and after some time that you want to take your mobile and check your WhatsApp messages. So when you are writing, at least don't do that. At least, nowadays it is impossible. It is impossible for any one of us to avoid this mobile phones. You have to check these things. So what you do is, you work for 1 hour, you write for 1 hour, and then you take a break, and then check for your messages, you make a call. So don't, whenever there is a beep message comes, don't look at your mobile. Then that will distract your focus completely. So you cannot able to write anything. So at least make a practice. When you are serious about reading and writing, pass that tools for an hour. So this is about this topic about reading. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll be happy to answer.
Approximately how many papers we have to take for literature? Where we can?
And there is no limit. But most of the things, after reading about 20-30 papers, good papers, it is again going to be a repetition of things. Okay, the same thing again and again, people are going to say. Okay, say for example, if you are preparing a biomaterial, what are the characterization? Or any material science paper, nanomaterials paper. Okay, there will be an XRD characterization, there will be an FTER, there will be a Raman spectra, and there will be a TEM, and all these things, and a characterization, all those things. So then application area, they will make it slightly highlighted. So actually, when you are doing a research program now, you have to start with the application and comes to the other way. But most of us, what we are doing is, we are starting with the synthesis, we are doing most of the characterization, and finally to touch up with, we are going into an application. But it should be the other way around, that we have to start with an application area, And you have to develop a material for that, and to support that application, you need to characterize. So that's the way we have to do. Yeah, backward. Do that, backward. That's okay. There is no limit on the number of papers here, because plenty of papers are available. You have to choose the right group and then you read. Then that will give you maximum idea. Preferably, you have to start with the reviews. Reviews. Excellent reviews are there. So if you read a few review papers, you will get a complete idea about the reviews and book chapters. That will it's a good starting.
And then to identify the research gap, how, from where we have to start? So the latest paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Reviews written by expert people, they might have given a clear direction where it should go, how it should go, people should explore. That's it. So there are two opinions about writing review articles. Whether youngsters can write review articles or not. Nowadays, many people are writing review articles. But only an expert, when I discussed with my professor in IIT Madras, the first time I wrote a review article, he said, it is not at all a review article. It was published. He said, no, just because you published, I won't accept it as a review article. I asked him why. Because he said, you are not reviewed anything. I said, I have compiled 100 papers. He said, compilation of published literature is not a review. That I can always put it in Science Direct to see who has done what. For that, you need not write a review. So then what do you want me to do? He said, you should be an expert to give ideas. You should be an expert to give directions. What are the things left out? Where we need to go? Where this field need to be developed? All those points should be written. I don't have any idea. That's why he is saying only an expert should write a review. Compilation of published data is not a review. It's a compilation. It may be useful to many people, to starters. Nothing wrong in it. But that is not a review. But only an expert could be able to give you directions. Where is the real problem? Where we need to invest more? Where we need to research more on that aspects. So only a reviewer expert can be able to do that. Key papers that we have to see the literature, and that's what I'm saying. As already Professor Velraj has pointed out, no, you have to identify the top researchers in your area. You follow them, then it's a good idea. That's enough. Yes.
It's easy to read an experimental investigation paper
Yeah.
rather than reading a theoretical or numerical simulation paper, because a lot of techniques are involved.
Yes.
Being a beginner of research, experimental investigation, we can find out what is the
Now that depends upon your research program, whether you are involved in experimental type of research or theoretical research.
Actually, in our area, we have to do experimental investigation, and then we have to validate the results by going for a numerical.
Yeah, then we may have to read both. Then we may have to read both. You may have to do a lot of job then, a lot of reading. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you think a scholar should read every day? How much should they?
Every minute?
Every minute, sir?
We should always be there. There is no way escape. No, it is like jumping into the sea. That you can't think of anything else. You have to swim.
So every day they have to read research articles, textbooks.
Yeah, no,
Is
you
there a
have to have a
precaution
broad
for that?
idea. No, you have to have a broad idea. It is not only the question of doing research. See, what many researchers are doing is they take a paper. First thing they read a methodology.
Sure.
To learn how to do the work. So the moment they learn the methodology, they start doing the work in the laboratory. Okay, they started doing the work and the results are coming nicely. They are getting engrossed into that. They are continuously doing the research work in the laboratory, and they are generating a huge amount of data without doing any reading. Okay, the moment they want to come writing, okay, they have not read anything. So that is a problem.
Yes.
So that's why I'm telling you, you have to read every day. That will change your perspective. You may be doing a particular type of work. Okay, sometimes you are reading another article, they might have done some different modification. So you will think that why I can't do the same modification or a better modification than that. So you can be able to refine your research work only by reading simultaneously along the way. Then, because otherwise you will be doing with the known methodology. You will not change your methodology, you will be keep on doing that. Now after find time, many people realize that when we are writing a thesis, they used to read. Then they will think, I could have done like this. But by the time it is too late, you can't redo that work. So that's why I'm telling you, you have to simultaneously read every day. Then that will help you to refine your research program very nicely. So
that
that's
is
why
what's
that's the difference. That's the difference.
Sure, sir. Thank you. I hope all the scholars would have got
Yes.
this idea and they will try and read every day a few articles, textbooks, all
Yeah.
the reference textbooks,
Yes.
along with collecting data and doing their experimental work as well.
Yes.
Any other questions from the scholars?
Topic: digital resources. What are the choices available and how to use them? This is only an introductory session. So I have not compiled in huge, but some of the ideas that the web pages that I like to introduce for the researchers. And say nowadays, now when we started our research program, myself and Rajendran and all, now we struggled a lot in collecting the literature. Now it becomes quite easy, because a lot of literature sites are available. You can simply type your keyword and then you can collect the articles. So some of the things that I'm going to highlight today. So before starting the program, before you are starting your research program, the first page that you have to look is the Wikipedia. Okay, you may be having a good idea about what you are going to do, or you might have, your supervisor might have given a clear-cut idea about the research program. Say, for example, you are going to work on graphene, or going to work on graphene, some graphene, reduced graphene oxide, or some other material, material like polysulfide, or two-dimensional materials, all those things. So the first thing that you need to put is put the keyword and then look for what is the information in Wikipedia. So that is the first starting point of the thing. So that will give a basic idea, okay, about say for example, what is the history and preparation, what is the structure, characterization, surface properties, applications, all those things you can able to get a first-hand idea about from Wikipedia. Next thing is you can go for library genesis. You can note down that website address if you want, http gen.lib.rus.ec. Library genesis, libgen, you call it as a libgen. So in this website, you can download not only research articles, but particularly books. Most of the books are available in this library genesis. Say for example, I am typing the keyword graphene. Okay, it is giving all the books that is listed. Say for example, more than 6 pages. Nearly about 60 to 70 books on graphene aspects. So you can sort it out by year, you can sort it out by publisher, you can sort it out by author name, all those things, and it will give the size also though. Everything is in a PDF file, so you can select those title and then you can download the entire book, you can keep it and you can read it. So first-hand information, say for example, if you are going to work on electrospinning. So now we are starting the work on electrospinning in our laboratory. So the first thing I did is I put electrospinning and I downloaded at least 6 or 7 important books. So all I have to do is reading to read in the books. So you collect those books. Next thing. Another important site is Sodh Gangotri. Okay, this is a repository where all the theses are available in electronic format. Okay, you can put your keyword and search it, Sodh Gangotri. Okay, this is a website, sodhgangotri.infil.ac.in. So all the theses are submitted to Anna University, Madras University, and all the universities. They have to submit an electronic copy to this website. So you can download you can search using the keyword, and you can download the entire thesis, and you can read what they have done, how they have done. So this is an important website that you can able to retrieve. You can see how many theses how many people have submitted thesis in that particular topic. Okay, so this gives you an idea. It's a repository of Indian research in progress. Okay, both synopsis and research proposals for PhD programs. Of course, you are familiar with this, Google. Now it is available in dark mode. I don't know whether if you search in dark mode, whether you will get all the answers or not. So, better to search in the white mode itself. And of course, Google Scholar. You might be very much familiar with this, Google Scholar. So you can type the keyword and it will give what are the number of answers available. Nearly about, say, if I put the word electrospinning, about 3,12,000 articles are available. And the important thing is, most of the things have a link for the full paper in ResearchGate site, in the IOP Press, in Science Direct, So all those things are full list is available. So we can download full paper from this. Most importantly, you can create an alert by typing a keyword. You can create an alert. Always you will be getting your in your email inboxes. It will come whenever new article coming on that on the topic. You will get an alert email. So you can follow the track. You can follow the track. You can follow. You can subscribe for the some important researchers, so that whenever they publish a paper or whenever their paper is cited as a reference by in the published literature, you will get an alert that such a paper is cited. So by following that, you can able to track of what is going on in your research field, and you can easily download those papers. So Google Scholar is very, very important to track what is going on. You can refine your selection. You can choose recent years, as well as you can choose by the type of papers, review papers, or all those things you can choose. So Google Scholar is an important aspect to do. Of course, there are a lot of publishers, publishing and journals, Nature, Science, Elsewhere Publishers, Springer, Royal Society of Chemistry, Sage Journals, AIP Publications, a lot of publishers. So you can go to the publisher's website and you can put your keyword and search, and that will give you a list of articles available in their web page. And then some of them may be open access articles, so where you can freely download. Some of the things we have to request authors to give a copy of the paper. Science Direct is one of the very famous science site by the Elsewhere publisher. So in Science Direct, you can download a lot of articles. Okay, you can see that there are about 2,500 journals and about 40,000 books in the Science Direct web page. So you can go to sciencedirect.com and then you can put a search statement. You will get a lot of papers listed. You can see all the abstracts of the paper. Abstracts are free. So abstracts you can read. But in specific papers, some of the papers may be available. Some of the papers available depending upon the institutional subscription. Well, I hope that Anna University might have subscribed for Science Direct, so you can download most of the articles in Science Direct. Scopus is one of the another website. Okay, that is also belongs to that Elsewhere group, Scopus website, and it's the largest abstract and citation database of pre-reviewed literatures. Contains scientific journals, books, conference proceedings, all those things will be there. Okay. Net link, internet link, and other click panna. Open hyperlink put. Open hyperlink. Open hyperlink. Rightmost. Open hyperlink. Yeah, you can play that. Yeah, this is the video in Scopus page. Say, for example, they put bacteria, and you can see the number of documents available. So you can refine the search. You can say this is a search criteria. And you can refine the search by choosing the edit, so that you can modify the search statement, bacteria in particular aspects, so that you can do that. And here also you can set an alert by putting a keyword. You can set an alert so that you will be always getting that in your email. Okay, what are the various recent developments? What are the recent articles that you can able to get it? Okay. And if the number of the results are very high, you can modify, search within that search. Okay. Say, for example, the number of articles are very high, you can search, you can modify, you can refine the search in doing that. And you can analyze the search results by documents, by secondary document, primary document, patents available in this topic, all those things. You can select open access articles, you can select it by, sort it by year, you can sort it by author name, you can sort it by subject area, you can, all those things you can do by selecting it. So if you go through this video, you will get a lot of ideas about how to do the search. You can select an article and you can download those articles. Of course, institution should have subscribed for the article. So you should select and then you can download. You can export, you can download, you can view the citation overview, you can print, you can send it by email. All those options are available. So explore those pages. Scopus. Tutorials.scopus.com. Tutorials.scopus.com. So that you can able to give an idea. You can select the document and you can download the document. You can view the citation overview, how the articles are cited, who are all cited. Okay. Who are all cited in that article. So all those ideas you will get it. You can save it. The search statement, you can save it as a list. So by looking at the authors, you can able to see who are all the frequently coming authors, who are all published in high impact factor journals. Okay, that will give an idea about. So you can follow those group and automatically you can get more ideas about that. You can create a bibliography automatically. All those options are available. You just play with it. Open the page and just play with it. You can learn a lot. Oh. We'll go to next. Yes, yes, okay. The another page is very much useful is SCA Hub. Of course, now there is a case going on. Elsewhere Science and American Chemical Society has filed a suit against this page hold people. And then the Indian High Court, Supreme Court says that recent articles should not be appear in this, they should not put. So we could not be able to download the recent articles, particularly 2011 June and 2012 22 articles. But earlier articles you can download. All you have to do is just enter the digital object identifier number of an article in this site, and then you can download the full paper. It is run by a Russian lady. And of course, many of us, we see that I'm not supposed to put this because it is totally illegal to download papers. It is not the ethical way of doing it because it is against the copyright law that you are not supposed to download it. You should have your institution should have subscribed. Your institution should have subscribed for the journal. But it is very difficult. No, all institutions don't have enough money to subscribe for all the journals. Okay. So, but we are using that still. We are still using that and getting the full article down to this page. Yes, there are, of course, many websites available. This is PubMed is particularly for biomedical area, medical sciences, particularly biomedical literature. There are about 33 million papers, literatures available. So you can type the keyword and you can able to find out what are the articles. Most of the articles in PubMed are freely downloadable. So you can try, particularly people working in the biomedical area. PubMed is one of the source. The similar thing, NCRI PMC site is also, a lot of articles are there, particularly about 7.7 million articles are available, particularly on biomedical area, COVID-19, all those things they have given importance. Microsoft Academia is an important page where many people share their article and it is freely available where we can download all the papers. Say for example, you can type your keyword here and then automatically it will give a list of items. Say for example, I have typed graphitic carbon nitride. So it will give a number of papers available. Then most of the papers you can sort it by relevance or you sort it by the date also you can do, and you can download the full paper. Most of the papers are available. Academia, Microsoft Academia is an important website that you can download most of the articles. You can become a premium member. Of course, that is by payment. But you can become an ordinary member without paying any payment, so you can download. Still, you can download a lot of articles in that. Academia is a website. It's another thing. They put graphene. It's about 128,000 papers available. So make use of these websites. You can download a lot of articles and read. Semantic Scholar is another website where you can find a lot of recent literatures, scientific literatures. Okay. Again, This is Semantic Scholar thing. So I have typed hydroxyapatite as a keyword. Then I got able to get 1,26,000 such results. So here also you can able to put an alert. I think an alert service is available here. Yes, you can create an alert so that you will get messages. Whenever recent articles are published, you can get recent articles. Researcher is another important page where you will get updates even in mobiles. Okay, you can read articles, important articles. Researcher is an important thing. ResearchGate is a scientific network where you can become a member. You can create your own circle, and then you can, many of the articles are available for download in this website, research website. You can become a member, you can create your own network by people who are working in that area. Now you can add people, you can follow people. Okay, you can develop your scientific network, and then by using that network, you can develop a lot actually. If you have any doubts, when you are doing a research work, you might have a lot of doubts. Okay, whether I'm doing it a particular calculation right or wrong. Even maybe a simple calculation. People used to put a question in ResearchGate, and many people will be answering whether your calculation is correct. So what is the point in, suppose I want to measure the pH of a solution which contains a lot of fluoride ions, because fluoride will easily attack the glass. So the normal glass electrode, the normal pH electrode is made up of glass membrane. So you cannot use it for a solution which has a lot of fluoride ions, because immediately it will etch away the glass. Okay. So what is the solution? What is the, how I can able to measure the pH of a solution which contains a lot of amount of fluoride ions? Okay, I don't have an answer for that. Okay, the moment you can put a question in ResearchGate. I have a solution which have a higher concentration of fluoride ion. I want to measure the pH of the solution. How I can do that? Many experts are there. They will beautifully give an answer for that. You can also read the question and answer session. Many people used to write the question and answer. So you can read those question and answer. It will be a very useful thing to develop our knowledge base. So nowadays, in research, networking is the key. You need to have a contact with many people. Many people. So say for example, you are doing an X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy study. You do not know how to do a deconvolution program. Deconvolution how to do. Or you are doing an X-ray diffraction. You do not know how to calculate the crystallized size. Okay. Or you have some problem in calculations, or you don't understand a particular concept well. Then you can directly put a question. Many people will give answer for that. Okay. So use these websites very well. ResearchGate. You become a member. There is no fee involved. You can become a member of that. And you will get constant suggestions. Say for example, you are following a certain topic. Okay, you are following certain topic. Say for example, cancer research. And automatically you will get a lot of articles, recent articles, that you will get information about the recent articles about that. Another website is LinkedIn. You can become a member. You can follow people. You can form a very good network in LinkedIn also. A lot of informations are available. Say for example, this company, Metro. Okay, they have given a procedure recently, okay, and how to calibrate your pH electrode regularly. That many people are using pH electrode in chemistry laboratory, but unfortunately nobody is properly calibrating the pH electrode. So that is very important, and they have given a clear-cut example how to do, and the tips and tricks that how we have to do in their blog page. So these sort of informations are available in the published literature. So we have to make a network. So I'm involving in a group of about really 3,000 people. So we're constantly exchanging ideas, programs, all those things we have to do. That is the way that we have to improvise our abilities. Okay, not only that, when you are going to become a scientist or a faculty member in future, when you want to get your own research funding from funding agencies, the important point is the V factor. We call it as the visibility factor. H index, all those indexes are there. So we call it as the visibility index. People should know by telling your name, oh, I know this person, like that. So you should be able to bring the visibility. It is not only doing research in the laboratory, inside the laboratory. You should be able to make yourself visible by your activity, by research activity. So these websites, LinkedIn and ResearchGate, are very much useful to bring a popularity for yourself. Okay, you can exchange ideas, you can post important developments. Say for example, if you are reading a paper, and you can post a summary in these websites also. You can post a summary about the research article. Again, I have read this article. You can post a summary. People will start reading that. People like that. You can recommend an article. I have read this article. It is interesting. So like that. So you can able to create a network. You can able to create a network of people. So through them, you can exchange your ideas. You can get help for your even characterization. All those things you can do. So developing a network is very, very important. And LinkedIn and ResearchGate websites are very important. There are a lot of open access journals available. No? You can download it freely. The idea of open access is it is open to all. You can just type the keyword and there are a lot of open access journals are there. You can download those articles. A lot of open access journals are there. So directory of open access journals are there. Mendeley is another website where it is particularly useful in generate bibliographies. You can collect all the references and make a bibliography. In these things for Mendeley is very much useful. You can also read papers that in the website. You can highlight all those things you can do. Core is another website where you can download many papers. You can search many papers. There are many websites. Core, Base, CRN document server. You can name it. A lot of things are there. So the only problem is you are getting a lot of articles, but you don't have the time to read all the papers. That is the question now. Okay. Reference Seek. Science Open. There are plenty of pages available where you can find the information. In earlier days, these are not available, but now it is available. So they are given an open access symbol. So this article is available free of cost, not this one. So you can download directly this article. So all those things are there. You can choose the publishers, you can choose. A lot of options are available during the literature survey. Like that Biomedical Center, a lot of biomedical research data or things are available in this website. Biomedical Center, BMC, Research in Progress. Like that Science Government, what are this US government website, what are the modifications, important things that is made in the government sector that you can see. That's worldwidescience.org. It's another website where you can download all the papers. Reaccess, and this is in a chemistry-based database. So there are plenty of things are available in the literature. So what we have to do is we have to use these websites, and then we have to collect the important literature, and then we have to read. So that is the basic. So today, the talk, Anna, I'm going to mostly focusing on the importance of reading and how to collect the literature and how to engage ourselves in reading all those papers. So these are the important points that I want to drive today as points. So any other questions? I'll be happy to answer. Writing, all those things. Anything you want to ask, you can ask. No reaction from this side.
Any questions, research scholars?
Because we want to say, give as much time as possible for discussion and interaction. So presentation will be always available in the website so that you can see at any time. And you can contact me at any time. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. You can note down my email. Okay, you can contact me at any time through email, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions at any point of time. No, not today, maybe even after 1 month, after 1 year also.